Good morning. Welcome to Walking Boxing. It is Thursday, October the 9th, 2025. And a little bit brisk this morning. It's only about, just after 7 in the morning. No Neil this morning. He doesn't really like these real early starts. I don't really wake him up, to be honest, especially when it's a bit chilly. And I didn't even know this the other day, but daylight saving has suddenly just sprung upon us, and I didn't even realise. And that's obviously throwing him out a little bit as well with the early start. But the magpies are out. I can see them not getting swept at the moment. So I'm hoping that the magpie season is over, but we'll see. All right, on this day, a couple of big fights in history on this day, by the way. Let's go back to 1971. Italy's Bruno Arcari defended the world super lightweight title with a knockout of Domingo Barrera in the 10th round. That was in Genoa, Italy. 2004, Marcus Bayer, the late Marcus Bayer. We all remember him, who defeated Danny Green twice back in the day. I think it was 2003, in that controversial fight that was soured by the headbutt or disqualification by a headbutt, and then he would then defeat Danny Green on by 12 round decision. It was a year or two later, and then passed away from a mystery illness about 12 years ago, I think it was, 12 or 13 years, so very tragic for Marcus Bayer, who was a great amateur as well. He defended his WBC super middleweight title with a knockout of Christian Savania in the 6th round. That fight was in Erfurt, Germany. That's how you pronounce it, Erfurt, Germany. Back in 1993, who can forget this one? Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank Sr. went at it in Manchester, England for the world super middleweight title, and ended in a draw. I think it was a draw. I remember the first fight, Chris Eubank won in 1990. And this was the rematch. A lot of people actually thought Nigel Benn won. And I think I said this the other day in one of the videos. I'm not quite sure why there wasn't a third fight. You would have thought it would have been very lucrative and attractive to the British public and even the world scene. But for one reason or another, the fight never happened. And then today, of course, the two sons are going at it for the second time in what should be a massive fight later this year. So that was in 1993. And I don't think very many rivalries have matched this one over the years, have they? Eubank and Benn. Speaking of rivalries, in 2021, Tyson Fury knocked out Deontay Wilder in the 11th round to defend the WBC heavyweight title in Las Vegas, Nevada. I think that was at the MGM, wasn't it? What a fight that was. And look, the three fights were just unbelievable, weren't they? Who can forget the first fight where, in my opinion, Tyson Fury, I won't say dominated, but got the better of the fight. And Deontay Wilder with that Hail Mary knockdown in the 12th round. And it looked like he was gone, didn't it? Tyson Fury, he was gone for all money. He hit the deck. It was sort of a glancing right hand followed by a big left hook that put him down. His sort of eyes looked like they rolled back in his head, didn't they, when he hit the deck, and he laid there and laid there and laid there, and people in the crowd and watching on TV, is he going to move? And he ended up just getting up right at the end of the count. And I'm surprised the referee actually let it go, if I'm being honest. But I'm hoping the referee could see, that I could see anyway, is that the punches that knocked him down they looked big, but they weren't. If you watch it, the right hand just sort of grazes the top of his head, and the left hook is sort of more of a just a push down, or something. Oh, it's not really a push, but it's sort of like a big round arm that just really forced him down rather than hit him flush and knocked him down, if that makes sense. And then, of course, the second one, Tyson Fury got his revenge. Was that an 8th round knockout or something like that? I think it was. I can't remember. And this fight in the 11th round, which was probably, in my opinion, probably the best one. Fury hit the deck again in this fight, showed unbelievable heart. So did Deontay Wilder, by the way. And really fought his heart out and gave it everything he got. But Tyson Fury too much in the end and stopped him in the 11th round. So, I mean, in hindsight, it's probably easy to look back and say, well, Deontay Wilder wasn't really the elite type of heavyweight, even though he did have the belt for 10 title defences. But I don't think we can take that away from Fury. That it was an unbelievable fight on the night. And yes, Wilder was probably exposed a little bit after this fight, but no one sort of knew that at the time. And they were just two great wins and the draw by Tyson Fury. And one of those memorable fight nights in the heavyweight division. There's been a few over the years, and that was certainly one. It was a great fight. All right, on to today's news. And, well, we'll start off with a bit of sad news, actually. And that is the son of Arturo Gatti. Arturo Gatti Jr. has ended his own life in Mexico. Really tragic sort of stuff. We all remember, well, it was definitely tragic with Arturo Gatti Sr. Dying, was it about 16 or 17 years ago? Arturo Jr. was only, I think, 1 year old. This is the other tragic thing about this, 17 years of age. 17 years of age. It's just hard to get your head around it. But, yeah, but Arturo supposedly ended his life 16 or 17 years, or must have been 16 years ago, because Arturo Jr. was only one, but controversial, well, mysterious circumstances. A lot of people have the conspiracy theories, but you know, it doesn't really matter whether there's conspiracy theories or not. He left us way too soon. He was 37 years of age, and you know, by the looks of it, his son has probably struggled with that over the years, even though he never met his father technically. I mean, he was a year old, of course, he would have met his dad, but I'm speaking as far as having an actual relationship with his dad. Really, really tragic. And I think one of the last posts he actually put up on his social media was a computer-generated photo of him currently in his boxing gear, arm in arm with his dad in his fight gear as well. So, yeah, there's a lot of tortured souls out there, and it's been a bad year for everything. I mean, only a few weeks back with Ricky Hatton, who ended his life as well, 46 years of age. It just breaks your heart, it really does. And you know, so I suppose it highlights these days just, you know, the mental demons that a lot of people have for different reasons. But either way, it's just tragic. We've also, of course, lost this year George Foreman, Mike McCallum, Tariq Muhammad Kawi, and I'm not sure, I probably missed one or two, but yeah, just not good at all. So that happened just in the last sort of day or so. Arturo Gatti Jr., found deceased in Mexico, so not good. On to some more positive news. The fight card for Jai Pataya and Hussein Shinkara looks like it's sort of been finalised. What have we got? 2, 4, 6, 8 fights on the card, and I would think that would be enough. With the addition of Jason Maloney, which I'll get to in a sec, but we've got, this is how it stands at the moment. Austin Acusio, Emmanuel Danzo. Just look at that fight. So Austin is 9-0. His opponent's 36-10. So good step up for Austin. We've got Taylor Jensen, 7-1. That fight, by the way, is 4 rounds at light heavyweight, which does surprise me. Why would have Austin against a guy who's had 46 fights in a 4-rounder? Anyway, we will see. Yeah, Taylor Jensen, 7-1. She's going to fight Jessica Adams, 3-1. Over 8 rounds in the female lightweights. We've got Max McIntyre, good kid. He is 8-0. He's coming up against Jed Morris, who's 8-2. That's over 8 rounds at super middleweight. We've got Jack Gregory, 7-1 against Hayden Emerson, 9-3-1. That's 10 rounds at super middleweight. We have Ben Mahoney, 15-0-1 against Winston Hill, 7-0. Don't really know much about Winston Hill. I'll have just a quick look at him. He is from Fiji. Okay, all right. So 7-0. That's at 10 rounds at 154. And I mentioned Justice Hunter the other day. So he's 12-1 fighting Kiki Latelli, 12-2-2. Over 10 rounds at heavyweight. It's going to be a big night, isn't it? And then the one I just mentioned, Jason Maloney, he's back. He's going to fight Herlin Gomez. So Jason is 27-4. Herlin Gomez, 14-2 from the Philippines. He's coming off a loss in May but it was a fight against a guy who was 12-0-1. So I see the usual, and then of course we've got Jai Pataya and Hussein Shinkara. So yeah, good card there. So I'm seeing on social media, of course, the usual suspects of the fans out there who are sort of laying the boots into the opponent and all this sort of stuff with Jason. I mean, I just think people or fans that lay the boots in, but push back on fights like these. Don't, and I'm being humble, or trying to be humble and respectful here as much as you can be, is that they don't really know much about boxing. All fans just want their fighters or favourite fighters, or any fighter for that matter, to continually just jump in there with the best after the best after the best and seek these massive fights one after the other. Sometimes it doesn't work like that. And I'm not just defending Jason here. I've seen it a little bit lately with some other fighters as well, even Justice Hoodie on this card. You have to put it in perspective of where these guys are at in their career and how much money there is to spend and how much the promoters want to back them. This is the thing. And I'm sure Jason, if he had his chance, would jump straight into another world title fight. And I'm sure Justice wouldn't mind, another big fight as well. But you have to look at where you are in your career. And I'm only just going to, I suppose, target Jason here. I mean, he's lost his last 2 fights. He's just signed with Tasman Fighters. They're looking to rebuild Jason. And as I said, I'm sure he would take a world title fight straight away. But I'm sure Mick Francis would have said, hey, well, that's great. But, it's not like we've got shows on every month here and massive amounts of money to spend. We've got budgets. So let's just put you back on this card. It's an 8-rounder. Let's get a nice solid hit out under your belt against a solid Filipino fighter. They always come to fight the Filipinos. You never get an easy fight with one of them, like the Mexicans over in North America. So in this instance, it would have been, right, Jason, let's just get your fight back. You haven't been in the ring for, I think it's about a year now. It'll be pretty close. So let's get you in there, get a solid 8-rounder under your belt, and then maybe they can push the ratings again, get him back in the ratings, and then they can go from there. These people or fans that just think it's a matter of clicking your fingers and you get a big fight. It's not that easy. And maybe they were looking for bigger fights and just couldn't get any fights. And maybe Jason wasn't even meant to be on this card, but he's pushed. I know what Jason's like. He loves to fight. So he might have just been pushing to get a fight and mix it. All right, well, let's just get you on. Here's the opponent. But you've got to work your way back. You just can't jump straight into these big fights as much as they would like to. It is a business. Can get frustrating sometimes. Fans, they just want their favourite fighters to jump in with the best guys in the world. But the timing has to align with a lot of different things. It's not that easy. And in this case, especially when you've got a fighter coming off 2 losses, Mick will just probably want to get him on this card and get, as I said, get another win under Jason's belt, and then they can reload from there. Same as Justice. I said this the other day. I got no dramas with him fighting Latelli. Again, they know what they're going to get. It's coming off a really bad knockout loss. I have no dramas whatsoever putting Justice back in with Latelli, and in this case, Jason with Gomez. And got to remember too, Justice and Jason both like to fight often, so it's not like some of these guys that fight once a year where this will be it. Jason will probably want to be back in 2 or 3 months' time. That's just the way he rolls. I'm sure Justice is the same. So I just think we have to be a bit careful when we just think it's that easy just to click your fingers and get these guys big fights and chuck them in there and they'll be right. It is a business. The main point with this one, again, will be to get a fight under Jason's belt. Then it will be to get him rated and then put him in a position to challenge for one of these belts. It's a process, okay? So I just saw some comments. I'm thinking, geez, just open your eyes a little bit, I suppose, what I'm trying to say. Just have a good think about it. It's a business, remember. It's not all about what the fans want. As I said before, there's always budgets and different sort of road maps that these fighters follow. So anyway, best of luck to Jason. I'm glad he's back. I would love to go up there, but I've got a bit going on around that time as well, so I won't be able to get up to Queensland. But yeah, all the best to him, and great to see a really, really good fight card up there. Should be good. All right, so we've had a date for Manny Pacquiao's next fight. Looks like it's going to be January 24. At the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. So really aiming for Rolly Romero, which I think would be fantastic. it's only in its early stages, I gather, but that's the fight. I have said this a couple of times in the last few episodes, but January 24 is the date. So big opportunity there for Manny and also Rolly Romero. Big payday, obviously the biggest fight of his career. And he's done it the hard way, Rolly. He was beaten by Isaac Cruz and come back and beat Ryan Garcia. Got himself a belt, and now timing is everything. He's going to land himself a fight with Manny Pacquiao. The other interesting news in the division, while it's only coming from one person, it's not actually been mentioned by anyone except himself, and that's Ryan Garcia. He's talking about fighting Mario Barrios. So the first question I've got is that, well, what makes you think you deserve a shot at Mario Barrios? Yes, he had the win over Devin Haney in April of 2024. So 18 months ago, got himself banned or whatever it is, suspended for a year. Then came back and put in one of the most pitiful world title performances I've ever seen from a supposed elite fighter, and was schooled by Rolly Romero. I'm not sure what he has done to justify getting a shot at the WBC belt, but hey, Manny Pacquiao was out of the ring for 4 years or 5 years, 4 years I think it was, or 5, whatever, 4. And got himself a world title shot. A little bit different circumstances because there is that legends clause in the WBC rules and regulations that allow fighters like Manny Pacquiao to come back and challenge. But I mean, it is the case, and Ryan Garcia managed to win that WBC belt. Well, all of a sudden it really sparks up the 147-pound division though, doesn't it? Especially if, say, Manny wins. You'd have Manny, Ryan, maybe Devin Haney up there as well as all the champions. So could, as I said, reignite that 147-pound division and maybe generate some more interesting fights. And all of a sudden, would we have Haney and Garcia 2 back in play? I'm not sure, but I mean, he's got both of these, all these guys have got tough fights in front of them, especially Devin Haney with Brian Norman. But even if Norman beats Haney, I mean, he's going to be a real star, isn't he? If that is the case, and maybe he would get the fight with, or a fight with Garcia. I mean, it's not really fair, but I know the way boxing works is that with everything going on with Ryan Garcia and him not deserving a fight at all, you would think that Mario Barrios would jump at the opportunity to fight Garcia because of the payday and the attention the fight would seek. So he just wouldn't be able to believe his luck getting a fight with Pacquiao and then getting a fight with Garcia. But as always, you've got to be in the right spot at the right time. So that's what's looking to be going on anyway. Now, the other thing I did see is that Eddie Hearn has hinted, I know this has been on the cards for a while, but Boots Ennis, if he gets past his fight, Virgil Ortiz gets past Erickson Lubin, that looks like that fight will be in the first quarter of 2026, which is really good news, fantastic news. I think that is going to be the fight at 154. Arguably, you could throw in Sebastian Fundora in the mix as well and Murtazaliev, but I think that's the fight we all want to see. Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Boots Ennis will be a fantastic fight. So if both of them get through the next fight, which they probably should, they will fight, as I said, in the first quarter of 2026. So plenty to look forward to there. Another fight they're talking about is Lawrence Okolie and Ajit Kabial for the vacant WBC heavyweight title. Look, I don't think it's the most appealing fight, but that seems to be on the agenda at the moment, that if Usyk vacates the heavyweight title, that will be the next fight up for both guys. Yeah, I don't know really too much to think about the fight. I mean, it'd probably be entertaining, but both fighters a little bit up and down in my opinion. And I think there could be better fights made for that belt. But at the end of the day, I think Okolie is the number 1 ranked WBC contender, or Kabial, one of them is anyway. I know one of them's ranked number 1. So I know a lot of water to go on the bridge. Usyk hasn't really ever given an indication of what he's going to do next, so a lot to happen. But the fact that they're talking about it already might just show that there's some murmurings out there about what Usyk's going to do. He's coming off that shoulder injury, of course. That's surgery. It's going to take him a while to recover. So I suppose all the organisations are just preparing for what might come next. So the odds are, of course, he's not going to keep all the belts. They'll find some way to strip him, or at least one of the organisations. So we'll see what happens there as well. But you would think that there's going to be a lot of dominoes fall in the heavyweight division, depending on what Alexander Usyk decides to do. All right, guys, that's probably going to do it for today. Yeah, not a hell of a lot to report today, but as always, I'm sure every day something pops up. Plenty of big fight nights to come, so plenty to discuss. But in the meantime, if you've got something you want me to talk about, a topic or whatever it might be, let me know and we'll have a chat about it on here. But guys, have a great Thursday. We'll catch you tomorrow.